Hello, good evening, welcome back. Can you hear me?
Hello, Divyam. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now.
Lovely. I said good evening, welcome back.
Oh,
It's
thank
our
you.
second session of writing the 10 points, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, yes.
Right. So let's do a quick recap on the first 5 points.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We were discussing about self-discipline. We had discussion means we had discussion about self-discipline
Mhm.
and second is why. What is the purpose of behind why we are learning something? Or if we talk about English language, and then consistency. And first was to take baby steps to start and don't try to be perfect. It's to have that action, means go for action instead of perfection.
Right.
And next, fifth was hard work and dedication, doing extra or going for an extra mile, having hunger even just when finished eating, means we used ended with that phrase.
Right. Awesome. So do you have a 6 point in mind or should I start?
You start this time.
Awesome. So this is something that I usually tell a lot of learners. This is one of my favorite points. It's to experiment with the content that you are consuming. Okay. So
Okay, okay.
depending on what sort of learner you are, if you like reading, if you are able to absorb more while reading, then read a lot of books. If you're able to understand a lot of different people from different accents and different cultures, then listening or watching videos is something that will help. If you want something that's more visual, then you can look at PowerPoint presentations, PDFs, blog posts, a lot of different journals, English journals, where they teach you what you should do, what is the next step, what are the new industries or new words that are coming out of the next year that might be trending, right? So, 6 point is experimenting with content, because as long as you have content around you that is in English, then it'll be really beneficial for you. One example I would like to give is when a new song is released by a famous artist, right? Within 2 weeks, that song is everywhere and everybody knows the lyrics. Nobody is trying to
It is
learn
like
the
that
lyrics.
is in trend, means that is the
Exactly.
trending number.
Yeah. So nobody is interested in the song or the lyrics. It's just that it's so catchy and it's so much fun to listen to it that it becomes natural for you to absorb the lyrics, to remember certain lines that you feel connected to. Right? If it's a breakup song
Mm-hmm.
and you just had a breakup, you will remember all the lines. Right? So find content that you might connect with, that you might like, that is easy to absorb, right? Even if it's like a funny show or
Okay.
like some action movie or comedians stand-up special on Amazon or Netflix, whatever services you are subscribed to. So that is really important. Make sure you have all these uh, preferences of content around you, right? Nowadays, Instagram does a really good job of that, recommending channels to you, influencers, comedians, a lot of sketches online that are available to, read or like sort of consume.
Mm-hmm. So means 6 point is experimenting with the content, means consuming content according to your taste.
Yeah,
And you can take content from anywhere, anywhere in the sense from any platform.
right. Whatever they are comfortable with, but preferably in English that you understand.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. Moving on to the 7 point.
Mm-hmm. It's my turn now.
If you wish, obviously.
No, just you carry on. Let me think. I'm busy with something now. My schools are there. Oh my
Are you getting calls?
God. So I'm always occupied with my school task.
Right. So, okay,
So
you're saying you haven't had the time to prepare for this.
no, not prepare in the sense like yes, I don't have anything in my mind, but uh, when I will listen to you, then my things will come in my mind automatically.
Awesome. Okay. So, seventh point, this one may not be comfortable with everyone. Okay. But one activity that I really recommend to any new learner, like someone who's just beginning, is to announce your intention to become good at something, right? Again, this is not limited to English, but to say to your family members, to say to your friends, colleagues, whoever is around you basically on a daily basis, let them know that you're going to be working on improving your English for the next 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, whatever your target is, right? Because the more you announce that you're going to do something, the more support you get from people. So if you just randomly start using words, if you make mistakes in English, when people are like, यार ये तो हिंदी में बात करता था अचानक से इंग्लिश में बोलने लगा वो भी अच्छी नहीं बोल रहा, they might start judging you, making fun of you, which is this sort of negative feedback that you're receiving, which acts like a discouraging factor, right? So one thing is
Mm-hmm.
be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable, but tell everybody that yes, you are on this journey or you are going to take this step, and they would need to sort of directly or indirectly support you. Okay. Now this one again, not everybody's not comfortable announcing that they're going to be vulnerable or telling people that I'm going to look silly or make mistakes. But please remember, a lot of people in your life are going to be positive. I'm not saying everybody, okay, but 80 to 90% of people will welcome this journey. They'll give you tips, they'll tell you what worked for them, right? That is very important, which is like half of the other point that I'm going to bring up. But make sure that you are letting people know that this is going to happen and embracing it yourself. Because another thing is when you announce it, right, it feels like there is some sort of pressure from the outside as well. I'll give you an example. Let's say you go hang out with your friends and you tell them, I spend 20,000 for a new gym membership for the next 1 year because I want to get fit before I get married, or I want to get fit before I visit, you know, this place I'm going with for a honeymoon or with my family, whatever it is. Every 2 or 3 months, they'll come and tell you, hey, how's the gym going? Have you changed your diet? Have you changed something? Right? Now, that is not going to be like a pressure where it's negative, it's more like encouraging. They'll keep you in track. They'll keep you that announcement holds you accountable. It lets people know that you're going to do it, and it lets them also know that they can come and talk to you about it.
But like I have contradictory view in this point. I have heard, or it is known to everyone, like don't announce things. Practice in
Silence.
like in silent. Yes, be
Mhm.
silent and while you are practicing, and
Right.
let your result speak about
Sure.
you.
Right. I understand that point. See, I'm not saying you have to announce all the time. I'm saying let
Mm-hmm.
them know once in the beginning, because
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you an example. Tomorrow, let's say your YouTube is going really well, and you tell your friends or people in your network that I'm going to start creating an English course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, once that happens, they're excited to see it. They're excited to see what results you come up with. They're excited to see what you're working on. They might even be excited to share some of their tips with you, right? That might help you. Now, I understand the silence part. A lot of people will be there to drain you, to give you the wrong advice. But when you're creating a course, you're not doing this in front of them. That is what I mean by silence. You build businesses in silence. You make life changes in silence, right? When it comes to something that they're going to experience, right? You cannot. Another example is, let's say you're going to the gym, the same example, right? When you tell them that you're going to the gym and you have this target and you go to a birthday party and they force you for a cake, you don't have to say yes because they know why you're saying no. You're cutting down on sugars. You're cutting down on staying up late because you're focusing on your sleep, right? So what happens is you don't want them to be guessing why these changes are happening, because that might affect your relationship with them. They might think Devam is just being pricey. He's like, okay, this cake is not good enough. That's why I'm not going to eat it. He never hangs out with us late at night anymore. He thinks he has better friends, or his work is more important. We don't want them to have this misconception that you're doing something with the wrong intention, right? I understand what you're saying, right? That counts only when you're trying to protect your energy, your peace, your boundaries, right? That works more for business. That works more when you're trying to work something out with a partner where your relationship is not working. You don't go around telling people I'm fighting with my partner. You don't go around telling people that I'm going to therapy with my partner, right? That is what it means by
Mm-hmm.
working in silence. I completely understand what you're saying, but it's two different, you know, problems that we're trying to solve over here, right?
So next can be, if you have announced your goal, you should have um, plan. You should plan your things, targets and activities, or short targets, smart
Right,
goals accordingly.
right. Yeah.
Mm.
So
So,
I look at it in a way that if I am building from scratch and I need to create a plan, sometimes people get overwhelmed. What do I target? What do I make first? What do I research at the beginning, right? Try to
mm-hmm.
visualize something. If you're into cars,
Yes.
visualize that you're trying to build a car from scratch. If you're into architecture, or like a very simple example is, I when I want to build anything, even if it's a small project, right? I visualize a house, a bungalow somewhere in the suburbs of America, where I need to start
Oh,
from the foundation.
why America? Suburbs of
No, no, no.
like
I
Australia,
don't want
they
to live
are
in
also
America.
wonderful.
I don't want to live in America. I just mean like I know how the construction of American houses work. They use more wood than concrete. They use more of like insulation and all that. Again, this is my personal taste. You can do whatever you are more knowledgeable about. Okay. So for me, when I'm thinking about a project, when I'm starting it out, my planning phase starts from digging the ground in, build the foundations, then the flooring, then the walls, then the roof, and then then the ceiling and then the roof, right? So, in school, we used to draw this house like a square and then a triangle on top, right? This is exactly what I'm saying. The most simplest form of building a house, basically, right? So, when you are thinking of creating a plan, you are probably wondering, yes, I want to have a swimming pool in my house. Yes, but you need to start with the foundation. You need to buy the plot, you need to create the foundation first, create the structure of
You
the
mean
house,
to
and then
say
make the
that
swimming
first
pool.
manifest the things, like in make a wish, have a vision, imagine it, then manifest it, and then plan the things
Right.
accordingly.
Right. So when you're making this plan, don't start off with the roof that you want a smart fan. Don't start off with the AC unit,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people do that. They start their journey and they have this advanced target and they start working on the advanced target, which is not what we're supposed to do first. Start with the foundation. Once you get to that point, we will focus on perfecting that. Okay. So when it comes to the planning phase, and planning phase will include all of these points that we are discussing, right? And it'll take a lot of time. So have the patience as well. But this is what I'm trying to say, that when you're a beginner and you're in you're learning English for the first time, your foundations would be tenses, sentence structure. It'll be how to use articles. It'll be how to pronounce words accurately, how to get the correct content and the correct advice from people, right? These are your foundational items. Then you can move on to other things like how to use pop culture references, how to use phrasal phrases, basically advanced phrases and idioms, right? People are so focused on any target, but they don't realize that you have to categorize them: advanced, intermediate, beginner. You have to start at the beginner level, right? Just because you want to fly a plane doesn't mean you straight up go and sit in the plane and start flying it. No, you have to start reading books first. Then you have to go to this sort of training institute where they'll teach you a lot of things about the physics, weight, how the engine works. Then they'll put you in a computer simulation. They won't give you the whole plane, right? They'll make you go through all the steps, the certifications. Then you start flying the plane. And then if you want to do tricks in the plane, then you can do that. And once you get your license.
Yes, true, true. So, like in context of learning English, first, as you mentioned, first we should go with small sentences,
Right.
small conversation related to their daily life. Then we should try or go for, means you need to know some basic grammar topics.
Right.
So you cannot jump to straightforward, like you cannot jump to descriptive paragraph or story writing if you are not able to frame a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, first make targets, small targets, like in so and so week, or in these 10 days I'm going to work on my sentences. I'm going to learn some ready-made sentences, and then going to frame sentences according to
Right.
my language, or means what I want to
My
describe
life.
according to my
Yeah.
situation, my life. And second step is, after I'm able to convey the meaning, like I am able to say what I want to, you should work on your grammar, or using advanced grammar or idioms to adorn your language,
Right. Yes.
right? So after you are capable enough, like, then you should go further on practicing. Practicing means now you have theoretical knowledge, you are consuming, you are reading, you are framing, then you
Right.
should implement that in your practical situation.
Definitely. Start walking before you start running.
Yes, 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 very true. So
So
our
point number
next
eight would
step
be to
can be,
create, point number eight would be to create a detailed plan, which includes working on your foundation, not just directly
okay,
going to flying a plane or running in a marathon. Okay. Should we
right,
move on to
right,
point
right,
number
right.
nine?
Yes, move to ninth.
Do you have anything in your mind, or should I mention one?
Today is your day.
Okay. So, another important factor when it comes to trying to learn the language and becoming confident in it is to have a mentor or some sort of tutor or teacher when it comes to that journey. Okay. Um, I'm sure you heard of this. Any sports person, whenever an interviewer asks them, who inspires you? Who do you look up to? Who was your idol when you were growing up? Right? They always mention someone who they appreciated, whose technique they appreciated, or whose professionalism they appreciated. Right? Similarly, when you start your journey, yes, you want to be the better version of yourself. You want to be this amazing speaker in public, but you have to base it off someone else's skill or someone else's presentation. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
Bill Gates had a mentor where he used to talk to someone who was more famous than him, right? Cristiano Ronaldo had a mentor where he would look up to a footballer who was much more successful than he ever was, right? So
Okay.
always make sure you have someone that you look up to, that, hey, I want to get to this level. Okay. Look at them talking. If they're a tutor or something, then you can look at their conversations on YouTube. It's almost like you're trying to copy them with your own twist, with your own added masala. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
when Virat Kohli looks at Sachin Tendulkar's cricket matches, he learns
Mm-hmm.
how to defend the ball correctly. When is the right time to
Mm-hmm.
attack in a match? He cannot just get on the pitch and start hitting the ball left, right, and center, without calculating the risk. So when he looks at the footage of someone who is more experienced, someone who has a better cricketing skill level, I would say, he learns a lot. We don't see it because he never tells us what he's doing, right? But all of these sports people, even in careers, this happens. Like when someone is a CEO, they will do a lot of studies and they will do this sort of case study on all the failed companies in the last 10 years and understand why the companies didn't work, what mistakes those people have made, right? Similarly, you can go and talk to your friends. If your friend is a presenter or a public speaker, go tell them that, yes, I want to achieve this particular thing. I want to be able to speak in public, or I want to have your vocabulary or your general knowledge, right? Talk to them, have the mentor, talk to them, ask them what you can do to improve. If they know you personally, that's even better, right? Because if it's a stranger, it's a little weird to talk to them and tell them, no, you give me everything you know, because there's no exchange happening, right? They feel like someone's exploiting you. Like, okay, he's just asking me everything I know. And what am I getting out of this? I'm spending half an hour, 1 hour every day talking to this person, giving them my secrets and my growth techniques, but I'm not getting anything from it. Whereas if it's with a friend or if it's with a coworker, they'll happily do it because they know where you lack, right? They know what mistakes you have been making in the last couple of weeks or couple of months. They'll tell you what you can improve. They'll tell you what they have done to improve, right? And that journey will be much easier for you. It's almost like a shortcut, but it's not cheating. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's why people say that you should read a lot of books, because Books are just learnings and experience passed on from generation to generation, right? So, Warren Buffett, he's one of the biggest stock market investors in the world. His company is the highest listed stock price in the world. I think his Berkshire Hathaway is the company that he owns. I think the stock price is crazy. It's like $1 million per share or something like that. Can you hear me? Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, now you are audible.
Yeah. So like I was saying, this guy, his company, it owns it's very expensive, like to even buy one share. And even if you want to buy, you're not
Mm-hmm.
able to because there are no shares selling. Nobody's selling any of those shares. Now, one of his tips that he's given for success is that he said, I read a lot of books. I read at least one book a week. So he knows that he can learn these things from people who have failed in the past or who have succeeded in the past. And he understands a lot about human nature, what businesses will work, what owners are doing in their businesses to make it successful, to make the customer's experience more memorable, right? And then he invests in companies that are doing these things, that cover these sort of tips. Okay.
So you mean to say you should work smartly, means you should do smart work instead of hard work.
You should chase people who have already been through this experience, people who have gone through this journey and failed and succeeded. Now, what happens is when you go to that person, it becomes very easy for you to replicate that process in a much shorter time.
Mm-hmm. I got your point. Like whenever we are teaching in the class, so we try to give important questions regarding any lesson. Prepare this means you need to prepare 6 marks question from this lesson because examiner always take one question from this lesson. So
Right.
we are giving them the exact, like instead of investing like 3 days in a lesson, you should just go through the summary and prepare this character sketch or of the character or write about the title. So that the way means you are also telling like take lesson from the failures, make the power failures a power to learn and to grow. Means
Definitely.
strategies where the things failed, start learning from those failures.
Yeah. So, how you just said that you tell your kids to do certain things, right? It's because you
Mm-hmm.
experienced it. You already know what happens. So what you're doing is
Mm-hmm.
you are saving them 2 days of extra studying by giving them a tip where
Mm-hmm.
they can invest 6 hours or maybe even 2, 3 hours and get the same result. So
Mm-hmm.
that is what I'm saying. So
Correct.
if you were to write a book and someone was to read it, they would save 2 days. That is the final learning of this point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So should I come
Yes,
up with the
yes,
last
true,
point
true.
now?
Yes, yes. What was like if I give the title to the ninth, what would be the heading for the ninth point?
Um, it's always like, I mean, the point you can mention, I mean, you can decide how to frame it, but the point is basically to find a mentor or someone who can pass on their experience to you. Chase experience,
Okay,
basically.
okay. Uh, and chase. Chase is the correct word.
Yeah, basically, it's supposed to be, a lot of these points are interconnected because you're hungry, so you're
Mm-hmm.
chasing people who have already been through the journey, right? To make your life
Mm-hmm.
easier, to make your journey shorter. So chase
Mm-hmm.
experience or have a mentor or someone you can sort of have a conversation with. That is very important.
Mm-hmm. Correct, correct. So it means you when you are learning, just try to find out one person, or your it can be your friend, your family member, or even a tutor. You
Right.
can go for a tutor who can means can find out your faults and give you the right direction to overcome your mistakes and learn from them.
Yes.
Okay.
So the 10th point, I'll keep it very simple, it's very short and simple. Be patient and don't give up.
True, true.
I
Essence.
think a lot of people fail because they make this plan, they do everything, they find the right content, they have a mentor, they are consistent, they are disciplined. But if they don't see results in 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, right? They'll say, yeah, maybe I'm not good at this. Maybe I'm not learning enough. And they give up, right? So look at a lot of famous people in the world, see what failures they've had, and see how they've never given up, right? Everybody looks at Elon Musk and thinks, wow, he's become a billionaire in 2 days. No, he worked for 30 years to become a billionaire. We just don't see the 30 years. We don't remember him because he was not successful earlier, right?
Okay. Oh, yes, yes, yes. So today we discuss announcing your goal. No,
Mm-hmm.
first is experimenting with the content,
Right.
consuming content from various sources, and that content should be according. Means start with your taste to
Yeah.
make your journey more interesting,
Yeah.
and then announce your goal so that other people may contribute to your learning and your be the part of your successful journey.
And they can hold you accountable.
Okay, hold also accountable means he is the responsible learner, or
Um,
how?
so you don't give the responsibility to someone else, but every time someone asks you, hey, how's it going with your gym? Are you meeting your targets of eating the right food or losing the right amount of weight per week? It'll make you realize that yes, this week I slacked off. I missed 3 days of gym. I missed 2 days of gym. This is something that happens to yourself. So you don't assign somebody. You don't tell your best friend, he every Friday call me and ask me how my gymming was for the whole week. You don't tell them. But when you let everybody know
Hmm.
you're going to do it, then naturally, out of concern, they'll ask you, how's it going? Did you find any new people over there? Are there any new exercises you are trying? Did you find
Hmm.
any
Hmm.
new
Hmm.
diet
Hmm.
plan? Maybe I can also try it, right? So that
Hmm. Hmm.
that
Hmm.
line of questioning, even though it is not an interview or an interrogation, it'll keep you motivated to sort of be consistent.
Yes, means whatever you are learning, you are going to share with others,
Yeah, and they will do the
and
same.
you will, yes, and you will acknowledge their response also, how they are reacting or what advice they are giving you or suggesting you something.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, and the next one was create a detailed plan. Like you should know how and when and how you are going to achieve things, how you are going to accomplish, and which step you should follow. What targets means, first describe your targets and then strategies to be followed to achieve that target. That
yes,
should be there. Means if you want to excel, which books you should read, from where the material can be produced, how you are going to paraphrase the things you have learned, and how you are going to improve later on, what sets of practice you are going to apply, like
yeah,
these.
yeah.
So next, ninth one was find mentor and chase the experience. Like always take advice from an experienced person, and
Yeah.
always try to find a better person to you can look up to get the advice or to find your faults and to correct them, rectify your errors.
Mm-hmm.
And mentor can be means it can be any person also. You can rely on AI technology also
It
to
can be your
get that
manager at
person.
work. It could be anybody.
And the last one and the most important is means be patient and don't give up.
Yep, definitely. It takes
Means
time. It's not something that you can just do by flipping a switch. So be patient.
yeah, and means it means like when you set any target, so only one person are better than the 99% is one person don't give up when 99% efforts they say no, it is not meant for me. So you
Yeah,
need to give that 1% extra effort to succeed. Thank you
no
so
problem.
much.
Yes,
Good
thank you so
evening.
much, and I'll see you soon.
Sure, sure.